Hello. This week we'll be visiting the Oxford University Museum of Natural History, and we'll be privileged to have a behind the scenes tour where we'll be seeing some of the 3D work that they're doing to reconstruct ancient fossils so that they are able to send files to other researchers to handle a reprint, a 3D print of these files that they're sending over. And we'll also be having a look at Z-stacking in a microscope. Now, both of these techniques are things that we'll be alluding to and having a little bit of a go with in the image analysis part. But here you're actually seeing the cutting edge of how museums make their specimens accessible. But the large part of the day will be spent exploring the collections. And you might say to yourself, well, why are we going to a museum? What sort of material do they have that I'm interested in? And the answer is that what we have in museums and collections is both a reference system so that we can check that what we see out in the wild is actually what we think it is. So we refer back to specimens that have been collected in the past. And Oxford is one of the museums which has a lot of these type specimens from which all others are compared. So they're the type ones. They're the ones which have been described first. And also we get a lot of data from them. So a proper collection, a proper museum has all its specimens labelled, so you know where they're from and who collected them, which gives you a bit of an insight into the interests of the past. But it also gives us valuable data on how species distributions have changed over time. And this is something that museums are getting involved in a lot these days with the global change in climate. It's also full of spectacular things as well. So there are lots of things for which to exercise your craft as photographers. Oxford Museum has several dinosaur skeletons and a number of really rare things, including the only bits of preserved dodo left in the world. And they're on display both as a facsimile stuffed animal and the bits that were rescued from a fire when they were having a clear out last century. You will be shooting through glass and you will be shooting from a distance, and you will be using long lenses. So think about what you want to take with you. There's some remarkable specimens. There's a South American frog in which the female tosses the eggs onto her back and the skin swells around them and they hatch as little tiny adult formed frogs from her dorsal side, and they've got one of those pickled, and it's behind glass and quite distant from you. They've got the New Zealand parrot, the kakapo, and you can see how the feathers on its back are no longer threaded like a bird's feathers, which are being used to flight because it is a flightless parrot. There's all sorts of displays on. Who knows what they will be putting up this year that we haven't yet experienced, because every time we go there, they have new exhibitions. So on Friday, when we meet together, be prepared for all sorts of eventualities. But I think the thing to remember is shooting through glass, you need to get your lens close up so that you don't get reflections. So if you need any guidance, David and Steve are the people to ask for how to get the most out of our Oxford Museum visit. Looking forward to it.